Hello everybody, welcome back for another video. Hope you're all doing well, I hope, and that you're all having a great day. Leaving a like, a comment, or subscribing helps out the channel immensely. Ask dramatically and you shall receive quite dramatically. I told all of you yesterday, where's the proof? What's been happening? What's been going on? I told you if we got proof or information, of course it would be in the next video. As it stands right now, and I saw someone write this yesterday on Twitter, and I actually laughed really loud. They said, I'm never looking at the screen to just keep telling me the news. For those of you not looking at the screen or completely unaware, I do apologize because get ready for some dramaticals. It says Bitcoin price dips under $17,600 June low as FTX nerves liquidate nearly $1 billion from the cryptocurrency. It's actually way more than that. So the saga, and once again, as I always do, I'll go backwards in some sort of way to get you to where we currently are, just so you get the entire scope of the news. As it stood yesterday, in the long ago, we had news on Sunday that Changpeng Zhao had left a very cryptic tweet on Twitter, basically saying he did not want another Terra Luna, and he would be liquidating his, I think, the FTT tokens, which is the coins from FTX. And this sent the market basically into a tailspin, a tail dive. It began to fall because everyone began to panic. What is this man talking about? And then rumors began to spread quite quickly that allegedly FTX had become insolvent, that they did not have enough money to be able to pay back people or proof of reserves or whatever you kind of want to call it. The really weird part, especially in yesterday's video as we were talking about it, I was like, people have been able to withdraw their money over the last couple of days. There's still something very fishy going on, but we're also going to get into that. After that took place, it says Bitcoin comes dangerously low to crashing below $17,000. Bitcoin's price actually hit 16,900 something or other dollars. I saw people taking screenshots of it and then posting it on Twitter as all of this madness was going on. Bitcoin's price and Ethereum hold crucial support. FTX token has collapsed by more than 84%. So here we go. Here's everything that has been going on. The idea is that something was wrong with FTX and therefore something was wrong with their token. Part of the issue is that apparently FTX had become so large behind the scenes that they actually had a stake in a large number of other cryptocurrencies and a number of other companies. And the issue is that as people began to realize that FTX, the company, might collapse, it then became apparent that everything else that they might have touched also collapsed. Part of the problem is, and this is one of the largest problems, and we've gone over this before. I've told you that this is how things were a long time ago, and luckily we had gotten past it. Nope, the relative stupidity index is still there. As far as, oh my gosh, look at that building 47 blocks away. It is also a building like I live in a building. Something is wrong with them, therefore something must be wrong with my building as well. I.e., look at FTT token collapsing. Well, Bitcoin must also have something wrong with it. Let me sell off my Bitcoin. Bitcoin's price fell by like 18% over the course of, I think it was no more than an hour. People began to liquidate every single crypto thing that they had. It didn't matter which coin, whether it was connected to them or that is FTX or not. The entire cryptocurrency market collapsed. Not lightly fell. You know how like some days we get really dramatic news and prices are down by like 4%? Nope, there are currently some altcoins that are down by like 38%. Everything completely collapsed sideways just based on the news that something was actually wrong with FTX, which we're also going to be getting into in a couple of seconds. But yeah, for those of you who are wondering why the crypto market fell, why crypto prices are down today, it's basically because FTX was so large that they had a stake in other projects, and people began to fear that those projects might also then get liquidated by FTX because of what they held. As this all went on, the greatest thing in the entire world happened. A lot of other people began to panic and try to take their money off of other cryptocurrency exchanges. And the issue is that when you have too many people trying to do the exact same thing, you break websites, you cause DDoS attacks because you can't have too many people at once. Crypto exchanges are never expecting 300,000 people at once all trying to get to their website. It may be 10,000 per hour, what have you. It says Kraken and Coinbase suffer a connectivity issue amid the market crash because everyone began to panic for nothing. There was no actual real information being thrown around. There's never There was no point where people were like, hey, this is only affecting FTX and these assets. Everyone began to run to every single other cryptocurrency exchange. There were a number of people on Twitter who began to write that, not your keys, not your crypto. A lot of people were explicitly telling other people to take their coins off of cryptocurrency exchanges. And this only caused prices to drop even further when people realized that they could not get onto Kraken and Coinbase, not realizing, hey, everyone else is probably panicking at the exact same time. There then began to be rumors that Coinbase and Kraken were also insolvent and were trying to stop people. And it's like, no, dude, just pay attention to actual logic. And I wrote on Twitter yesterday as a joke, but not a joke. I was like, there's no way that everyone's selling off their coins at the exact same time because of the FTX news. And lo and behold, everyone did. But there's also, I feel like, a little bit more to this, and we're going to get to it because, as always, everything always has to do with money. It says crypto markets bleed $130 billion in 12 hours as the contagion, as they're calling it, continues. A bunch of companies began to come forward instantaneously to announce that they had no exposure, never had any exposure, and will not have any exposure to FTX, the exchange, or to FTT, the token, at any point. They did this to try and save themselves the same exact way when we saw the collapse of Terra Luna. And everyone began to, Coinbase did it, Kraken did it. Everyone was like, hey, we have no exposure to them, in the fact that not that the coin is not listed with us. It's more of a, we have not invested in them. We have no vested interest in their company. So should they fall, we would also fall as well. Nearly every single company who did not have exposure to them basically came forward. It says stablecoin issuer Circle plays down FTX Alameda exposure. FTX was one of the investors in Circle's 2021 financing round of $440 million. FTX was gigantic. And it's really funny because it's a crypto exchange that I'm sure many people did not even know about before Sunday. And I dare even say a huge portion of the space. We had news about FTX before, but FTX was never a household name the same way that Coinbase, Kraken, or Binance, and dare I say Gemini, have been over the last couple of years. They were simply this new crypto player on the block who had become extremely large, extremely fast. But of course, you become that large, that fast when you have other people throwing money at you. For some odd reason that I still may never understand, a lot of people, this was the most popular portion of the news today, if you can believe it. It's the fact that the guy who ran FTX is no longer a billionaire. It's not the fact that they're allegedly, actually, insolvent. It's not the fact that there are going to be acquisitions and liquidations and that the cryptocurrency market collapsed. Just a couple of days ago, Bitcoin was 21,000 and hit 16,000 something. Nope, it's the news that this guy is no longer a billionaire. You think I'm joking, but it was all over the place. It says from billionaire to ... FTX chief loses 93% of net worth overnight. Billionaire to millionaire. Wow, what a sad sentence. FTX's SBF Sam Bankman-Fried's net worth wiped out overnight. This one says Sam Bankman-Fried no longer a billionaire after $14 billion overnight wipeout, and they made sure to use a photo of him with his mouth gaping just to show exactly how shocked that he was. Why is everyone, and I assume, no, I know the answer. I was going to ask why so many people are obsessed with billionaires. I think people are obsessed with things that they are not. A lot of people, you remember the video yesterday? Every single time that Sam Bankman-Fried or Fried, whatever how you pronounce his name, was in any article, before it, they kept on saying billionaire Sam Bankman-Fried. It's the same way, like a lot of times you'll see articles that say like billionaire Elon Musk or billionaire so-and-so. Are you obsessed with these people because you may never be a billionaire and therefore this is a way that you can connect with them? This was the most, I'm telling you. Everything that we just went over, the like literal collapse of cryptocurrency markets because of fear that FTX might have touched another cryptocurrency, was not the major news. The major news was that this man is no longer a billionaire. I don't know him. I don't care about him. I think he's still worth, $980 million. I have a feeling he's going to be just fine. He's not in his 90s. He has a good 60 more years to be able to make that billion back, and I'm sure it's going to happen over the course of the next couple of days. Why was this the most popular portion of the news? I'm not sure. I think people just need to go outside and get some fresh air because this doesn't make a lot of sense. The largest news, but the least covered, is that Binance is actually going to be acquiring FTX. Here's where I said I feel like something really weird has actually taken place. Is this also it right here? Yes, awesome. It says Binance is taking over FTX. This is the biggest acquisition of all time. Binance's FTX acquisition plunges the market into chaos. So we're going to go over a couple of things. The news that we received, that I'm giving to you right now over the course of the last 5 or 6 hours, is that apparently there has been an acquisition in the works for a while. We apparently were made unknown of said acquisition until basically right now. This was apparently in the works. No one knows for how long. But the weirdness of it all, at least to me, is the idea that on Sunday, Changpeng Zhao was discussing things as if there wasn't already an acquisition that was supposed to be taking place. It feels like as if this news that we've all been receiving for the last couple of days was meant to, hear me out here, I tinfoil hat if you want to join me, but it seems to be all believable. The news was yesterday that the acquisition was meant to take place for a while. If he knew that and he was not allowed to tell us that, it seems as if he was trying to crash the price of FTX, like their actual thing, and their token before the acquisition so that he was able to get it at a lower price. The other issue is that it appears that this was also thrown together to actually move prices in the cryptocurrency space down as well, to actually liquidate a number, if not nearly all leveraged positions. Why was this done? I'm not really sure, but the news that we've received a number of other times over the course of the other years is that usually whenever there's a massive wipeout in prices, this usually tends to follow a movement up in prices. And I saw a lot of people discussing that because this is a rather large drop. I never assume that humans can coordinate for anything. Like, it's just not possible in my mind that you would have hundreds of millions of people coming together to understand the significance of this news and that they would all sell at the exact same time. I can see 20% of people in the market selling off their coins, but to have an actual drop as large as we did, it looks like there was institutional money at play who knew exactly mathematically, because this is how they work, how much money they had to push out of the market, how much they had to sell to get the rest of the markets and the rest of the longs that were also liquidated to begin to collapse. Everyone panics. Everyone sees prices are dropping. Prices fell down to 16,000. They're not at 16,000 anymore. Why? Because they jumped right back up almost immediately as whales begin to acquire all the coins. How do you acquire the coins? Well, you begin to sell off at 19,000. You cause the panic, and then you buy up the coins at a much, much lower price. So this all seemed, at least to me, I don't know if anyone else is in the same exact boat as me, but this is a little weird that this all happened within the course of 4 days. And apparently it's been happening for a lot longer than that, but simply behind the scenes, and none of us actually knew about it. Almost immediately after, on Twitter, it says Bankman-Fried apologizes to FTX investors for lack of communication over the Binance deal. Like I said, apparently this was supposed to be happening for a very long time. None of us actually knew that this was going to happen, but they did. That even makes it even weirder as to why this guy wasn't talking about anything bad at all on Twitter the last 2 days as Changpeng Zhao was basically tearing him and the company apart. Was that part of their acquisition deal that Sam Bankman-Fried had to basically be nearly silent and talk about that nothing bad was going on as Binance destroyed the market and told everyone else that everything was... Oh, also the amount of news that there is that came out nearly immediately after from Binance talking about like, well, at least Binance is fine. There was so much Binance like positivity news. It also made them like a superhero in the space. Remember before when everyone hated Binance and Changpeng Zhao and kept on calling them criminals and all this other stuff? Everyone now apparently loves Binance for being so transparent and for trying to save the cryptocurrency community from the collapse of FTX that they seem to ignite. Doesn't it seem he could have simply acquired FTX without having all the panic happen? People were still able to take their money out of FTX until they couldn't because they had to stop all of it, and all the other cryptocurrency exchanges did the exact same thing. It feels like this was done as like a major power move to make sure that FTX collapsed so that they could acquire it at a very, very, very low valuation. Anybody else with me? Because this seems a little bit too weird to all happen randomly or haphazardly. The same exact thing with the stablecoin drama that we had at the beginning of the year. Stablecoins have existed since 2017. I think there was maybe one coin that maybe lost its peg, and the coin went down to 97 cents, went back up to $1.01, and then kind of rested around the dollar for however long. But at the beginning of this year, every stablecoin began to collapse one after another. That was around the same exact time that we had news from the U.S. government that they wanted to regulate stablecoins. Like, how weird that they want to talk about regulation, but then the ecosystem begins to collapse, which also then caused many other cryptocurrencies as well in the market to also fall apart at the exact same time. Everything is coordinated. Nothing is random or haphazard. Once again, we are in a market where all these people are talking about in the next 5 to 10 years, crypto could be a multi-trillion dollar asset class. How do you benefit from Bitcoin going to $500,000 the most? You make sure that you terrify and scare everyone else out of the market so that you can acquire all the Bitcoin at 16,000. So that if Bitcoin does go to $500,000, who's one of the richest people on the planet? It keeps happening over and over. Usually once or twice a year, an event like this happens in the cryptocurrency space. It's always something. Anyway, so he apologized to everyone for lack of communication, but I think that they also probably had an NDA, like a non-disclosure agreement, that he couldn't say any of that in general until Changpeng Zhao said something. All of this feels like one gigantic power play. On top of that as well, it says, well, after all the drama that has been unfolding over the last 5 days around Alameda Research, FTX has finally reached out to crypto exchange Binance for a buyout. I don't think that's what happened at all, but okay. Binance CEO Changpeng Zhao also confirmed the buyout with a tweet stating, "This afternoon, FTX asked for our help. There is a significant liquidity crunch. To protect users, we signed a non-binding LOI intending to fully acquire the website and help cover the liquidity crunch. We will be conducting a full DD in the coming days." However, there's been more to the FTX drama in the last few days. A lot more has been happening behind the scenes than meets the eye. While FTX chief Sam Bankman-Fried claimed that things have been going well for the company, he has actually been scourging $1 billion in fresh capital from Wall Street and billionaires in Silicon Valley. So here's the other part too, which is also a little bit weird. The news allegedly is that FTX created the FTT token. Apparently, they were using, allegedly, the FTT token to prop up the value of other cryptocurrency assets and their own coin on the market. The news being that allegedly the crypto exchange created a token and they were using that token that they created out of thin air to buy other assets. And those other assets were then used to prop up the value of the FTT token. And that's how the circle went. Apparently, remember when we were talking before about the Terra Luna thing? A couple of days ago, I told you that there was a podcast from, it's called Unchained by Laura Shin, and she was talking to Do Kwon. And one of the questions she was asking him was, when you look through the asset backsheets and stuff like that, we can see that there's another coin that was created. And you guys created $1 billion worth of this coin out of thin air. And allegedly that coin was being used to purchase other assets. So it's now been alleged that that's also what was happening here, that something else was created and that was used in a loop. You create more of it, you buy more assets, those assets then prop up the value of the actual cryptocurrency exchange. Like I said, it was going to be a lot. There's way too much going on all the time in this space, but now that's also part of the news as well. I feel like the big players knew about this for a while. We're figuring out how to decimate FTX, and now they're all acquiring it. I don't think you would acquire a company that would not benefit you later on, and that's just kind of where we are. On top of that as well, BitDAO, that is BITDAO, the token of the Bybit contribution group, dumped as much as 20% in less than 2 hours after Alameda Research made moves to sell off its Bit holdings. Here we go. In an unanticipated tweet, Bybit CEO Ben Su alerted the crypto industry about some concerns of the BitDAO community. According to him, BitDAO was concerned about the abrupt dump of its tokens by FTX's sister company, that's Alameda. So the idea is that FTX had another company associated with it called Alameda, who had BitDAO tokens, who allegedly was trying to sell off their BitDAO tokens in an effort to prop up the price of FTT. Tao also noted that the effort contrasted with the agreement in place not to sell for 3 years. So apparently, the news is also that Alameda and FTX, the exchange, had their hands in nearly every single cookie jar and were selling off the other cookies that they had to keep their main cookie afloat. On top of that as well, one altcoin has been affected a lot following the FTX and Alameda collapse. It's good old Solana. Along with the FTX token, Solana's native crypto token has come under intense selling pressure. It says the price is down by 20%. I just looked. It was down by almost 40%, like right before I started the video. Ever since the Alameda crisis suffered last week, I guess this week, the Solana price has tanked by a staggering 50% in the last 5 days. Over the last 24 hours, there has been nearly a $0 million what in Solana long liquidations. They're clearly missing a number. But why is the Alameda contagion spreading to Solana? As per report, Sam Bankman-Fried acquired $1.2 billion worth of Solana tokens from Alameda. Industry reports suggest that Alameda has been selling its Solana holdings and buying FTT, their coin, to stop the coin from falling in price. So Solana's dropping quite heavily because of their connection with FTX and how many Solana tokens FTX had. And I assume that there were also other companies. I don't assume that FTX was the only company that held it. And I assume if other companies saw that the price had dropped by 10%, other companies also began to sell as well. And that's how you get that cascading price. But guess what? It does not end there. The price of publicly traded exchange Robinhood is down by 20%. It's around $9 or so on news that Binance will be acquiring FTX, which took a 7% stake in Robinhood in May. Yep, you heard correctly. FTX also owned a gigantic stake in Robinhood. The news was allegedly that over the last year, they've been buying so much Robinhood stock that they were apparently trying to own a huge portion of the company, if not nearly more than 51% of it. So on the news that FTX had collapsed and had to be purchased or was being purchased by Binance, Robinhood also began to collapse because 7% of their company was owned by the crypto company that also just collapsed. Remember in the beginning of the video when I was like, get ready because, you thought it was wild yesterday. You haven't seen anything yet. So that also happened. And then the other really weird part, and I'm cutting it a little bit short because there's actually a lot more going on, but it's basically all just sad news. It's basically this coin fell because of this. This coin is going down because of that. This portion is collapsed because you get the entire idea. Is that as the world was imploding around all of us and prices were collapsing, Changpeng Zhao basically went on to Twitter and was like reading a bedtime story. He was telling everyone like, these are the lessons that we have to learn. You got to make sure not to do this. This was clearly some kind of a power play. They knew what was happening from the beginning. I don't think that there was some really crazy revelation on Sunday that Changpeng Zhao was like, oh my gosh, they're insolvent. I'm sure that they've been looking through this for a while. It was simply the timing of when they announced it. A lot of people. Anyway, the point is, at the end of the entire saga, Changpeng Zhao went online and basically left like a very long thread of things talking about other coins in the market. And now a lot of other people are speculating that there are many other coins that are being propped up by some type of a weird creation of some other coin that's then being used to push up something else. This was the news years ago for Tether, for those of you who weren't here. The news and allegations were years ago that Tether was being printed and therefore then being used to buy up Bitcoin. And that's when we had the entire fiasco of Tether having to show like 6 times over the course of 4 years, having to show their reserves and show how much money they had and show proof of funds and all this other stuff to show that they weren't simply printing money out of thin air to buy other crypto assets. So, yeah. This is all the news, at least what we have right now. It appears that FTX is actually insolvent. I don't think anyone... So as far as I have seen from looking around, I have not seen the actual balance sheet myself. I saw people linking me yesterday on Twitter to articles that had to do with the idea that they were insolvent, but I have, cool, got it. Apparently, it's a thing. Binance is buying FTX. The cryptocurrency market has collapsed off of fears that FTX might have been using their coin to buy other companies or stakes in other companies or stakes in other cryptocurrencies. And they had a whole bunch of this. And then also apparently FTX and Alameda have been selling off other cryptocurrencies that they have in an effort to keep FTT token afloat. And that's just currently where we are, at least for the moment. So that's why cryptocurrency prices have collapsed. I'm not sure if, this is some sprinkles on top, if it makes you feel any better. But the stock market's higher. So if we get past all of this dramaticisms from crypto, that means we'll be moving up higher as well. So, very, very thin dental floss silver lining that I'm trying to make out of this. Yeah, at least stocks are higher because we've been correlated with them for like 9,000 years. So maybe that'll also be good for us as well. Anyway, that was all the price news. And I guess the, collapse of the market. Well, no, that's price news. All right. Let's move on. In something that's not crypto news, but this was the second most popular news story of the day. Elon Musk has sold 19 million shares of Tesla. The filings from the SEC reveal that Musk sold over $3.95 billion. So far, Musk has not explained the reason for the sale. I'm pretty sure I know. However, Tesla stock continues to struggle. It fell by almost 3% in 24 hours and fell a further 0.68% in the after hours. So remember when I told all of you, and I'm sure like 30% of you didn't believe me, Twitter's not profitable. Twitter's been profitable once, and that was in 2018 or 2019. Nobody wants to pay that $8 that they're trying to get people to pay for a check mark on Twitter. Twitter was making 90% of its revenue from advertisers. For those of you who haven't realized yet, Elon Musk is a bit of a megalomaniac. And not a lot of people want to work with megalomaniacs. So a huge portion of the people who were actually advertising on Twitter, they left. Yeah, I'm pretty sure a lot of you missed that news because a lot of people seem to be so obsessed with Elon Musk, they're not even looking at reality. So Twitter is making even less money than they were before. Twitter usually loses around $7 million per day in revenue or money, going broke and all that other stuff. So the news is that he sold nearly $4 billion worth of Tesla stock. People think that he's going to be doing something epic with it, and I'm sure it's probably just to pay his bills. A lot of you, maybe not all of you, I'm going to give you guys credit that if you listen to this channel, there's some breath of logic within your heart. Remember the whole thing at the beginning of the year when he was like, I'm going to buy Twitter. He had actually signed a number of documents. And then he was like, oh, no, I'm not going to buy Twitter. He was trying to be super cool. And then remember, he got sued by Twitter and got taken to court. Why do you think that was? Because he was already in agreement that he was going to buy the company. So now allegedly he also has tons of court fees that he also has to pay as well. So he probably sold off a huge portion of his Tesla stock to be able to pay off not only the creditors, because he couldn't afford the entire thing by himself, for those of you who also missed that. All of his money is not liquid. It's tied up in hundreds of thousands of millions of investments, and he has to liquidate his stock in other companies and other assets to be able to pay the portion of Twitter that he actually did. It was him and I think 5 other people, one of the more popular ones being Changpeng Zhao, the CEO of Binance, who put forth $500 million because he wants to integrate Web3 and all these other things like that. But there were a bunch of other companies who also gave several billion as well. So this was not even crypto news, but this was all over the place. Everyone was talking about this. Elon Musk offloads another $3.9 billion in Tesla shares. He sold almost $20 billion worth of his holdings this year alone. And then they have a sad photo of him with like raindrops behind him to indicate sadness, I guess, in some sort of way. He'll be fine. He's still a billionaire. Why he purchased a social media platform that no one used before and even less people are using now, I'm not really sure. I think he, got too far ahead of himself, and this is where he currently is. Twitter's user base has also fallen by a lot, but we're not going to get into that because that's also not crypto news. So this news is for someone. This was very popular crypto news, but anytime Elon Musk is in the news, oh my gosh. I also even saw so many other articles that were like talking about, I'm not joking, I swear to goodness. It would like, I saw one, it said something along the lines, did he sell his Tesla stock to buy Dogecoin? How delusional do you have to be in the real world to like even think of something like that? I just don't. Anyway, that's the Elon Musk sold $4 billion of his Tesla shares last night. Yeah. Moving on. And also in news that no one was asking for at all, crypto exchange BitMex has announced the trading of their native token BitMex will begin on the 11th of November. BitMex announced on Tuesday that it will utilize the currency as a form of consumer reward as it seeks to reclaim market share in the trading industry. The exchange has stated that its customers will be able to receive benefits such as higher staking rewards, reduced trading fees, withdrawal fee waivers, and access to new products and services as basically what you get from using Binance Coin on the Binance platform. So I don't think anyone was exclusively asking BitMex for their own coin or their own stable coin or whatever coin it's going to kind of be. I assume it's being done because every crypto exchange has their own, every single one has their own coin, and maybe they thought it would make them cooler. I don't really know. I never hear anyone talking about BitMex like ever. I'm sure people still use them. Sure, why not? But this was also relatively popular news. Sure, Why not? Go for it. Apparently, in the future, everything will be tokenized and everything will be in the form of a token and everything will tokenize itself or some other news like that. So, cool. Why not? I sincerely do hope it works out for them. But these people are also like 100 millionaires and like billionaires. So I don't think my well wishes is going to make them any richer. I assume they'll all just be fine money-wise. That's the BitMex is making their own coin news. No one asked for it, but they're still doing it. Let's move on. As always, a very special thank you. I hate this website keeps doing that. Very special thank you to my Patreon supporters. Martin Steuer, Bodie McBoatface, Dotha Diddy, Manny Cryptos, Crypto Gambino, Auspicious Agile and Blockchain, Jamie Saad, and let's move on. Empire Queen, Roman Geba, Bitcoin Ben Arachno Dave, The Dealer's Den, Captain Something in the Z-Way, Lay, Mobarazi, VB Nerd 21, Lauren De Silva, Quarter Biddy, Troy, All Good, Space Case, Need a Miracle, Pat Ternoster, Navarro Williams, Utopia 569, Moonman, High XRP, Stromo, John Sarson, The Animal, Rita, Bibliophobia, Adam, Graysick, Wise 9, Owl, 242 to the World, Bankroll Network, Crypto Artist, Cole D3D, Setsuna, Paxis, Nick Mangialavori, Jim Gardner, Jeremy Fox, Minting Coins, Yes to Crypto, Anytime Fitness, Monk's Corner Staff, Bake Me a Cake, Tigara, Macho Nisa, and On Crypto with Lionel. Thank you all very, very much for your continued support. Thank you to everyone who is a member of the channel. Thank you to everyone who left a like, a comment, or has subscribed. I do thank thee. At the moment, Bitcoin is actually up, oddly enough. It is at $17,971. It is down by 9 percentile points. Ether is down by 17%. It was just almost $1,700 a couple of days ago and now is at $1,237. Thank you, Changpeng Sao. Binance Coin is down by 9%. XRP is down by 15%. Doge is down by 18%. Polygon Matic is down by 21%. Here we go. Listen, for everyone out there, I'll say it every time. Every time the market's going up, there's always people, oh no, it's going up too high, too fast. I want to buy more. Listen, I saw everyone saying that same exact thing about OMI about 5 days ago. OMI has been pumping because of all the OUP, crypto to NFT, NFT to crypto, blah, 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 all these other things going on. And the price went up. I mean, it went up by like 70%. And people were acting like, the thing had hit $9 already. And everyone was like, I hope it goes a little bit lower so I can accumulate more. There you go. Today's your day. Go get them, Tiger. Because every time any coin goes up, no matter how long prices are down, prices can be down for an entire year like they've basically been. Why wasn't anyone accumulating before? You wait until the coin pops up in price and then you go, no, I meant to buy some. Well, listen, now this is your moment. This is when you acquire everything that you wanted to acquire because, things are definitely on sale. Solana is down by 43%. Isn't it crazy that Solana's down on this news, but not the news that the network has broken 10 times this year? Think about that. A company's selling off their Solana. Not the fact that the network maybe doesn't work, but, at least reality's there. Polkadot is down by 7%. OKB is down by 13%. Anything else like insanely crazy? Everything's down roughly between 10 to 15%. Chainlink is down by 22%. Kronos is down by 18%. Algorand is down by 22%. Near is down by 21 percentile points. Chiliz is down by 27%. Oh, that's so stupid. I just bought ApeCoin like 2 days ago. Now it's down by 15%. Oh, that's so annoying. I hate when that happens. And I can't be the only one. It always happens. It's so annoying. Like the moment I'm like, okay, cool. Prices look pretty good. Let me go buy some. I mean, at least it's like on hyper sale. So I guess I just got to buy more. Terra Luna Classic is down by 22%. Decentraland is down by 15%. Sandbox is down by 18%. Weren't these near $1 before? Like a couple of weeks ago? I'm pretty sure. Was it Algorand? Wait, hold on. Where's Algorand? No, Algorand was, I think, 39 cents or something like that a couple of days ago. What was it? Some coin was near $1, and now it's definitely not anymore. I don't know. Anyway, the cryptocurrency market has collapsed. I do hope that you've all enjoyed. Probably, I don't know. Depends on your, how, if you're glass half full or I drank everything out of the glass kind of person. I hope you all enjoyed. Hope you all are having a great day, great morning, great afternoon, great evening, wherever you are, wherever you might be during all of this turmoil. I do hope it's absolutely fantastic. Thank you all once again for watching, listening, commenting, and or supporting. And I will most certainly be talking to you all soon. See